Welcome back to another episode of starting a project and not finishing it anytime soon. On this episode, we start a new project, and it is a cheap Chinese dirt bike that I got for $50, and it's pretty bad. Along with things that are pretty bad, you may have noticed my voice sounds like garbage, and that's because I'm sick, and the reason I'm filming it all is because I just got this, and I'm excited to work on it and get it figured out. But I don't really want to film because my voice sounds like crap, but I have to film if I'm going to work on it. So you have to deal with my voice. This is a 2016 Coolster 200cc 4-stroke overhead valve dirt bike. I'm not going to lie, it's pretty bad. I mean, it's not a big deal. You can get the parts, they're pretty readily available and fairly cheap. It's just a matter of ordering the right parts and knowing what to order because the descriptions and stuff with the Chinese crap is very bad. So you need to actually hope that the images are accurate and the descriptions are accurate when you order the thing. So I need to do some diagnostic work to figure out exactly what I need and what it looks like, and then I can start ordering stuff for it. The engine, I think, is a Honda XR200 clone. From what I can tell, the XR200 is an overhead cam though, and this one's not, I think. But looking at everything else on that engine, it looks damn near identical. Either way, once I can figure out what this thing's cloned after, I can get real parts, and that would be great. If not, I'm stuck with Chinese crap. But yeah, I'll move the camera a little closer and start showing all the little things I found so far that are broken, need replacing, or damaged, everything wrong with it basically. Okay, so first off, the Carb looks like just a Mechannibal clone, but it says Honda on it, so it's just Honda with a G added into it. The clutch is toast in this thing. Clutch handle, the little threaded adjuster is stripped, so you can't even adjust it, so I'll have to get I think I already have a spare clutch handle, but we'll see about that later. It doesn't seem like if you even just physically yank the cable, like without using the lever but actually pulling on the cable, the clutch does move. It doesn't actually do anything when you ride it. The only way to start the thing is to roll it in neutral and then drop it in first with the ignition on, because this kickstart is also toast. Sometimes it grabs, which it's very clear that most of the teeth on the starter are gone, and like this tap on here, so that needs to be ordered. So that sucks. Clutches are dead, which means I need to take this cover off and look at the clutch assembly and see if it's the clutch packs worn out, if it's the cable stretched, if it's the basket worn out. I don't know, but that will happen this episode. I'm gonna have to drain the oil and take this side cover off and look at it because I need to see it before I order it. And touching back on the finding the clone thing, if I can find the actual engine this is cloned after, I'd rather get real clutch packs. Like if this is an XR200, I'd rather get clutch packs for an XR200 versus a clutch pack for the Chinesium 200cc, whatever the hell this is. I'll have variety and quality using a real engine. So that's what I'm going to try to do. That's why I want to take this off to figure that all out. Spark plug's still the same Chinese crap. I'll just put an NGK in it whenever I find the cross-reference number for it. But that sucks. What else sucks? The exhaust sucks. I'd like to get a real exhaust for it, depending if I start modding it. I don't think 4-strokes are that receptive to exhaust tuning. I don't know if it's super important, but I think it would sound better with a real exhaust, but we'll figure that out later. Other thing that's garbage, we have these like McDonald's straws on the spokes. They're just like these cheap plastic. It just makes it look so much worse. So I'm gonna take all these off, make time lapse or just like do it and then it suddenly looks better. But these are shit. Luckily they're all already pre-split, so it's super easy to remove them. But yeah, we'll just move on to more stuff that's broken. Some other things that are crap about the bike. This light assembly, which has the headlight and the turn signals in it, is just mounted with rubber little strap things. So that's really stupid. I don't understand why, like, it seems like such an afterthought. So I'd like to do like hard mounts for this. So it actually sits up high enough, and two, like it's just secure. Other than that, someone else put this dash unit on and it's not bad. I mean, this thing's like $100 when I looked it up, and it keeps track of a bunch of like features that I don't know, I guess somebody would want. The only thing I noticed is one, it's like there's electrical tape involved with the wiring, which is never good, and also they put the sensor on the brake disc on the front, which I think is not a great way to get an accurate reading, but we'll see. But I probably won't keep this on this bike because it's a freebie basically. I paid $50 for the bike and this is worth $100. So I'll probably use it for something else. This mirror seems again like an afterthought. It's all just like cheap plastic. It's pretty bad. This is just not attached. The neck of the tank is in the cap. That's cool. I already tried to find this tank and I can't because there doesn't seem to be a whole lot of good information for cheap Chinese parts for this bike. There's some, but there's nothing that is a guarantee like this is for this bike. It's for this bike and 10 other bikes, and also it's in bad English, so good luck finding the right part. What I would like to do though is again find the clone bike that this is based on and get the actual tank. If I'm going to replace that, I'd like to get like a legitimate replacement versus another cheap replacement. But yeah, that's the crappy parts of here. Another thing that is a problem is this was just sitting on top here and was just duct taped on. But from what I can tell in factory pictures, it's supposed to actually sit underneath like that. But this thing also just looks like crap. It's just cheap plastic. I'd like to just delete it entirely, but that's to be determined. I don't know if I want to stick with the dual sport route where it has all the turn signals and brakes and all that stuff, like the safety requirement stuff. So either I'm going to delete all of the roadworthy stuff, or if I just want to make this all work as a dual sport. More than likely like delete this entirely and put the turn signals up under the frame that's under here. So they just sit like right there versus on this trash piece. But yeah, that's another issue with that bike. I think other than that, the wiring kind of sucks. The wiring's not great. It definitely has been messed with before. Like there's still more electrical tape. There's like this plug down here that's just chilling. I don't know what that does. There's some eyelets, like a little positive and negative looking eyelet. I don't know if you can see those. I don't know what those do. We have this little lithium ion battery that I assume is the battery for the bike, because it does have power. Like if you turn the power on, the horn, you know, makes a little effort like this. Oh, you can't even hear it now. No, I guess it's actually dead now. All in all, it's a mess. I'm gonna take the side cover off so I can see what I'm working with as far as the clutch goes, because riding it's the biggest thing. Once I can ride it, I can figure out more in detail what all the issues are, and then we can go from there as far as fixing them. 2 more connectors going nowhere. 2 faded ones are the ones that go nowhere. So get the zip tie off of here. These don't go anywhere. This black one here is one of the 2 that are just loose eyelets that are just hanging out. Okay, so that's factory. Again, just taped together with electrical tape. What I need to figure out is like if this dual sport option stuff, like the turn signals and whatnot, or a factory option thing, like when you go to the mall and buy this at that kiosk that disappears in 6 months, if they're the ones that install it this way, or if it was like a kit you could order separately. Because some of this is really janky, like the wiring's just like, I don't know what's under here, and more than likely it's just twisty tied together and then electrical taped to death. If I'm going to leave this, I'm going to disconnect it, solder it, and then heat shrink it. Another zip tie. The biggest thing I need to figure out is what's factory and what isn't. Goodbye. But yeah, there's a lot to figure out here. This isn't even a zip tie, it's a bread tie. Okay, let's remove that. And this goes nowhere. Where does that attach to? It just goes into the harness. Okay, so that's a thing that is factory, I think. So many zip ties. Someone tried to organize this, but it's just like it's such a mess. This can also go bye-bye. That wire's damn near destroyed. There's like half of the strands left. And that's for the headlight, it looks like. It's like one of the main power lines. Yeah, look at all that shit. I can definitely clean it up and then shorten everything so that way there's no extra tucked away. This bolt hole is nothing. And it's just hanging out right here. I don't know if you can see that. Oh yeah, you can right there. Yeah, this is a mess. I'm just gonna temporarily put this back on here and then we'll deal with the rest of that later. Just gonna drain the oil out of here real quick and then we'll take the Kickstarter off and then we'll take the side cover off. It's just a 17 mil drain. It is not magnetic and doesn't have a lot on it. Oh, that's gross. That's really metallic-y. That looks like pearlescent paint. It's not good. Yeah, that's really not good. Laughing hurts with the cold. Okay, so that's not great, but I mean, it's kind of expected for a cheap engine. Probably has quality issues to begin with. It wouldn't be surprising that oil hasn't been changed because people don't care about it, and the components in it are wearing more than they should. There we go. Okay. Look how much water's dripping out of that. It's literally streaming water out of the clutch cable housing. That's really weird. Wow, that's really clean in here actually. Where the hell does this magnet come from? Oh shit. That's actually cleaner than most things I've taken apart, but like there's still a thick layer of metallic paste. This all looks really sterile. I didn't even tear the gasket taking this off. That's concerning. I mean, the options now are the trans is toast or the clutch just wasn't engaging. I don't know if that's supposed to have play in it. So I got everything cleaned up. It really wasn't bad at all. I got like the crud off the bottom of this pan. I'm not gonna take this clutch pack apart. I don't think yet. They look fine. They may just need to be just adjusted because they're quite loose. I'm not sure if that's right or not. I don't even know if there's a tolerance for that or not. So what I did find is I can see the starter gear like down below here. I thought it was going to be nice in the open, but it's not. But I can still see the teeth. So I'm trying to move the camera so you can see what I see. It's not good. So see those? Those are the teeth for the starter, and they are fine. They're flat-ended, which I think is actually deliberate, but the teeth look fine, which tells me the other gear that it touches is not fine, which means that's in the transmission. So that's pretty awesome. That's a basic guarantee this engine has to come out and split, which I don't want to do. Considering how this has developed, I'm going to try to find some other stuff to do. All the clutch issues could pretty much just be the stretched cable and like a messed up handle housing. If that's the case, that'd be cool because that's 80% of the issues, but the kickstart issue is the other thing. And I don't think that can be fixed easily without pulling the engine apart. Well, I need to order certain parts. Like I'm going to probably order another kickstart just because that one's, I don't think, right for this, and it's floppy and it doesn't really work. But in the meantime, I'm going to do the brake fluid front and rear just to get that bled and out. One less thing to do. Thing here is like the bike's rideable. So I'd like to get it as rideable as possible. And then, you know, that way I can still enjoy it in the meantime. So like when it comes to, you know, winter, when it snows, I'd like to be able to ride around. Even if I can't kickstart it, I have to roll start it, that's fine. But the clutch has to work, which is the biggest thing. So with all that in consideration, I think the best route is just to get the thing as like rideable as possible. When it comes time to pull the engine and do that, I'll have all the parts ready to go. So basically I just don't want to just jump into doing the engine right off the bat. So starting off, just gonna do the rear brake. We have a little reservoir right there, which the fluid is kind of gross. Hold it open, close. There's definitely water in there. That's coming out really murky. Still clean-ish looking, but it's not clear anymore, so probably have moisture contamination. You can't really see through that anymore. My guess is somebody rode this through a river or something, or it just is that bad of contamination. Brake fluid's hydroscopic, so if that's the right word I'm thinking of, it absorbs moisture, so it kind of just will do this in time. Being as new as this bike is, I don't think it's that. I think there's actual contamination. Now we just need to actually bleed it, which you just go until there's no more air bubbles. And there's a bunch of little ones. Not bad though. We're just going to keep going until I don't see any more. There weren't any there. Where'd that come from? Oh, the little peg that mounts the brake pedal to the master cylinder, the little cotter pin just broke. Oh, I mean it was kind of barely in there anyway, but yeah, that's a good safety thing. So that's good there. Just going to spray it off real quick. Mint. Alright, so I'm not going to show you, but the master cylinder also had the same watery mixture in it. That was another thing that makes it seem like this thing didn't have a lot of maintenance, which again, doesn't seem out of character given that this is just like a cheap dirt bike that no one cares about. Oh, it's already coming out pretty clear. We'll see if that continues. I also noticed up here, the brake has a little sensor on it for the brake light, but it's not connected to anything. I'm coming to the conclusion that the master cylinder for the front brake is shot, because it's not building any pressure now. Yeah, I think I'm wasting my time here. Well, at least it has a back brake. Yeah, this is a waste of time. The rear brake was ready to give out if that peg had fallen out. The front brake master cylinder was on its last legs and no clutch. This was a death trap. I'm so happy I haven't ridden it yet. Well, I mean, it's a $50 dirt bike, so I don't really know what I was expecting, but I'm definitely disappointed. I thought there was more hope for it. With everything in consideration, I think it's definitely just comes down to cheap parts, because the thing's only 3 years old, and looking at the majority of the parts, it's in good order, like it's in good condition, so I don't think it was really abused all that much. I think it's just a matter of cheap crap. I think it's just a matter of like low quality, but it did not hold up well. I mean, again, it's a $50 dirt bike, so whatever. As far as fixing things go, I guess I'm just gonna browse the internet and prioritize what needs to be repaired in order to get it writable. And I'll probably just order like, YZ250 or some good quality but like readily available parts. If I'm going to replace it, it's going to be good quality, just so we don't have to deal with this again. For now, we're just going to end it here. It's just basically a summary of everything wrong and a game plan for the future. So yeah, thanks for putting up with my voice. Hopefully it won't last too much longer unless I die from this sickness, in which case there will never be no more videos. So, by the way, but yeah, with all that being said, thanks for watching and stay tuned.